Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Picture yourself walking through an ancient city where the salty breeze of the Mediterranean blends with the subtle scent of papyrus and ink. You are in Alexandria, a beacon of knowledge, a meeting point of civilizations. In this episode, we'll drift back in time to explore one of the greatest wonders of the ancient intellectual world, the Library of Alexandria. We will explore how it was founded, how it operated, its importance to the ancient world, the mysteries surrounding its destruction, and the legacy it left for humanity. Our journey begins in the year 331 BC, when Alexander the Great, one of history's most legendary conquerors, dreamed of building a city unlike any other. A city that would unite the best of the East and the West, a crossroads for cultures, knowledge, and people. He chose a strategic location on a narrow strip of land between the Mediterranean Sea and Lake Mareotis. Here, Alexandria was born, a carefully planned city with wide, straight avenues, open squares, canals, temples, and grand palaces. After Alexander's death, his vast empire was divided, and Egypt came under the rule of his general Ptolemy I, founder of the Ptolemaic dynasty, the Greek pharaohs of Egypt. Under Ptolemy's leadership, and later his son Ptolemy II, Alexander's dream of creating a global center of culture and learning began to take shape. Alexandria soon became the shining beacon of knowledge in the ancient world. It was during this time, in the 4th century BC, that the story of the Library of Alexandria began. Inspired by the intellectual traditions of ancient Greece, especially the Academy of Athens, Ptolemy, with the help of his advisor Demetrius of Phalerum, envisioned the library as a place to gather and preserve all the knowledge of the known world. The library would house works from diverse cultures: Greek, Egyptian, Persian, Hebrew, Indian, and even Buddhist. The library was part of a larger complex called the Mao Sion, an institute dedicated to research and learning where scholars could live, work, and exchange ideas. Thus, Alexandria became not only a city of commerce and culture, but also the world's first great center of knowledge. The Ptolemies dreamed of more than just building a magnificent city. They envisioned a temple of knowledge, a place where the wisdom of the entire world would be brought together. This vision gave rise to the Mao Sion, a sanctuary dedicated to the Muses, the goddesses of arts, science, and inspiration in Greek mythology. The Muses, regarded as the daughters of Zeus and Mnemosyne, the goddess of memory, were believed to inspire creativity and knowledge across a wide range of arts and sciences. If you're interested, we could dive deeper into their fascinating story in a future episode. At the heart of the Mao Sion stood the Library of Alexandria. It was far more than a mere collection of books. It was a sacred center of knowledge and learning. Here, scholars from all corners of the world lived, researched, wrote, and taught. They were supported with housing, food, and a government stipend, enabling them to devote their entire lives to the pursuit of wisdom without distraction. The library had one bold and ambitious mission: to gather and preserve all the knowledge in the world. The Library of Alexandria was part of a vast complex that included botanical gardens, a zoo, laboratories, an astronomical observatory, as well as reading and study rooms. It is estimated that the library housed between 30,000 and 700,000 papyrus scrolls containing literary, scientific, philosophical, and religious works. To give you an idea, texts were carefully copied and translated by a team of about 100 specialized staff. The resident scholars dedicated themselves to research in many fields of knowledge, such as mathematics, astronomy, philosophy, medicine, literature, botany, geography, poetry, and engineering. The library can be considered the world's first university, a place where knowledge was cultivated and shared. But how did they manage to collect all the world's knowledge? The Ptolemies employed a bold strategy. Every ship that docked at the port of Alexandria had its books, scrolls, and manuscripts temporarily seized. These were taken to the library, meticulously copied by scribes, and then the copies were returned to the owners, while the originals remained in Alexandria. They also sent agents to markets, fairs, cultural centers, and other libraries throughout the known world, buying, copying, or acquiring any manuscript they could find. The library held works in many languages: Greek, Egyptian, Persian, Sanskrit, Hebrew, Aramaic, and more. Imagine endless corridors filled with scrolls, each one holding a piece of the world, a fragment of humanity. This place wasn't just a treasure trove of scrolls. It was a home for some of the greatest minds in history. Eratosthenes, who calculated the circumference of the earth with incredible precision for his time. Aristarchus of Samos, the first to propose that the sun, not the earth, was the center of the universe. Herophilus, a pioneer of anatomy, who studied the human body in ways that would not be revisited for centuries. Hipparchus, the father of trigonometry, who made groundbreaking discoveries about the movement of stars. Picture these scholars walking through the library's gardens, discussing ideas under the shade of marble columns, while the gentle sound of the sea filled the air. People from all over the world came here, driven by a single passion: to understand the mysteries of the universe, and perhaps to leave their mark on human history. The library was fundamental to the preservation and dissemination of Hellenistic knowledge and that of other ancient cultures. One notable example was the translation of the Hebrew Bible into Greek, known as the Septuagint, which allowed access to sacred texts by a much larger audience. In addition, great thinkers and scientists of the time passed through the library or were influenced by it. Although Aristotle lived before the library's foundation, his philosophical legacy was widely studied and expanded there. The library promoted advances in various fields: in astronomy, with studies on planetary movements; in mathematics, with the development of geometry; in medicine, with detailed clinical observations; and in literature, with the preservation of classical works that otherwise might have been lost. But, as with all great things, the Library of Alexandria met a tragic end. Its history is shrouded in mystery and marked by a series of devastating blows. The first major catastrophe occurred in 48 BC during Julius Caesar's campaign in Alexandria. Amidst the chaos, fire spread as ships in the harbor were set ablaze, engulfing and damaging a significant part of the library complex. Centuries later, in the 4th century AD, the Serapeum, an important extension of the library, was destroyed by Christian authorities who saw it as a symbol of paganism and sought to erase its influence. Yet, these are not the only acts of destruction. Over the following centuries, the library suffered from political turmoil, neglect, and possibly further fires. Controversy surrounds reports of additional damage during Roman rule and later during the Arab conquest in the 7th century, when Caliph Omar is said to have ordered the burning of the manuscripts, though many historians question the accuracy of this account. What remains certain is that, over time, the Library of Alexandria vanished, and with it, an immeasurable treasure trove of knowledge was lost forever. Its destruction stands as one of the greatest cultural tragedies in human history. We may never know exactly when the last shelf collapsed or when the final scroll turned to ashes. But what we do know is that with its fall, humanity lost countless works, discoveries, and fragments of history that may never be recovered. Despite its destruction, its legacy remains immense, inspiring the rise of countless cultural and scientific institutions throughout history. The very concept of bringing together the world's knowledge, fostering multidisciplinary research, and encouraging the exchange of ideas laid the foundation for modern universities and research centers across the globe. It also stands as a powerful symbol of the importance of preserving culture and ensuring universal access to knowledge, values that continue to shape and guide humanity to this day. In 2002, nearly 2,000 years after the fall of the ancient wonder, the Bibliotheca Alexandrina was inaugurated in Egypt as a modern tribute to its legendary predecessor. Today, it stands as one of the largest and most advanced libraries in the world, featuring an extensive digital collection, museums, auditoriums, research centers, and cutting-edge technology facilities. More than just a library, it carries forward the spirit of the ancient institution, fostering knowledge, culture, and innovation for future generations. The Library of Alexandria was a hub of learning, discovery, and intellectual exchange that shaped the ancient world. Its influence still echoes through time, inspiring scholars, historians, and curious minds across the globe. Its story serves as a reminder of how vital it is to safeguard human wisdom and cherish culture as a legacy shared by all of humanity. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and leave your comment. Tell us what else you would like to learn about human history. As the pages of history close, may your dreams gently unfold. See you next time.